Today I'm going to do an unboxing, actually a re-unboxing, of Divine Right. This is the 25th anniversary edition. I picked this up a few years back as kind of part of my search for my Grail game. I played this a lot with a good friend of mine back in high school and in college, and they have a piece on Grail games, and this was kind of my Grail game for a while. Could not find the original TSR version, which is was published in 1979, and you guys might recall that it looked something. That was the box cover of that version of it, and I just have a lot of fond memories of this. This is one of those games that, as a game, it really shows its age. It shows its wear and tear of the 80s and what kind of game it was coming out of the 80s, late 70s and 80s. So not a great game, but to me it was the nostalgia. I just have fond memories of it and enjoyed aspects of it, so I had to get this. And this was the 25th anniversary edition. I have it, but I really haven't fully opened it up. I mean, I've done a shrink wrap and kind of looked at the contents, but I haven't really gone into breaking it out. So this is kind of an unboxing in that regard. So let's take a look at the cover here. This is a fantasy war game. I was kind of looking at my playlist, and I really don't have a lot under fantasy war games. So this is something I wanted this to be the first kind of big reveal in that space, because it's only fitting. So there's the box cover of the 25th anniversary edition, and then what you get in the box here, there's like a CD of the rules, I believe, and there's several different rules. This 25th edition broke out a lot of different types of rule sets for the game, to which again shows it's a creature of the 80s and made it a little bit more complex than what it needed to be. I printed out some of these, not from that disc, but I printed these I think out from like BGG. But you have the rules here, and then you had the intermediate game, and then you had the advanced game. So you have three different games here, and there's quite a bit of rules here. This is 26 pages of rules. The intermediate game is 17 pages of rules, and just the basic game here is 16 pages of rules. So quite a bit of rules for a game that really doesn't need to be that complex. Also, there is errata, clarifications, and the like here that are wind up to be. I got some extra pages there. Don't know what those are. Looks like it's about 3 pages of errata there. So anyway, there you have that for the rules. We'll actually look at the actual rules in here as well. Here's my certificate of authenticity, easy for you to say, 1708 from The Right Stuff. Okay, so I'm sure that's important. And then you have the rules, as I was saying here, which are 16 pages. And these are, I think, just the basic rules. As you can see, it's in color. There's some color in here. I wouldn't say it's full color, but there is color in here. But this is basically a fantasy war game. You're going to be moving your units on a map that have fantasy attributes in this fantasy kingdom, and you're trying to conquer other kingdoms in there. And it's got quite a bit of lore attached to it. As I said, to me, the thought of it was more interesting than the gameplay itself. And you have a couple of dice here, look kind of like casino dice. There's the cards here that have not opened up, which deal with your different nations and leaders. Like here's Zorn is one of the nations, and you can tell the cards, not real exciting there with its graphics, long rotation +1. I mean, there's different modifier cards that go with the game. Here's something that's going to probably be stomach turning in some respect. The counters, I mean, you can tell the perfs here. I can't recall the original one from '79. It was my friend's version that we played a lot, and it was just your typical TSR game at the time. I can't remember how the counters were, but these don't look that exciting. Very, very thin whiteboard, and you can tell those perfs there. Yeah, I'm not telling how that's gonna, not sure how that's gonna come out on there, but you can see some of the counters there, and see, you know, basically it's your kind of your typical fantasy art that you might see. Again, I don't think they changed the art too much from the 80s. And here are the different countries you can play, or the empires you can play, because they have an ambassador and they have a separate color and the like, so you can there's your turn marker. So yeah, not wild about those counters. And we got more of them in white, or black on white there. Yeah, and that might be one reason why I haven't really punched this out yet, because I'm like, once I punch that out, what are those going to look like? But, you know, I buy games to play, so that is something different. Of course, they're one-sided. I buy games to play, and so I really do need to punch this out. Now, the map board, they did change a little bit. They changed, here's the back of the box, if you want to see that. And again, through that, you can see some of the cards there. Again, they didn't really change much from the 80s on this. I think they probably might have had some graphics. I can't remember if the one from the 80s or from 79 had those kind of graphics on it. I just remember a lot of just text and numbers on stuff. But let's see what the map looks like here. And it's a mounted map. The one from 79 was a paper map. So you already have an upgrade there, that you have a mounted map. And, you know, the colors, they changed the colors a little bit, I think. I think the one from 79 had just very bright colors and was very colorful. Some people I don't think liked it because it was so colorful. They felt like they kind of muted the colors a little bit here from the 79. I'd have to look at that map. I don't have that version, so I have to look at that map. But you can tell here they have some charts and stuff on the side. But I mean, man, that print is really, really small. It's almost like they try to recreate. Like, there's a random event tables. Here's your game turn. That is really tiny. Now, back when I was in high school, my eyesight was a little bit better, and that might have not been a problem. But today, man, that is really small looking at that. And they have here's your terrain chart over here, and some more different types of charts that you use in the game. But here is the map. And, you know, the map to me is okay. I mean, this is kind of what I remember. The colors are a little bit different, but this is kind of what I remember. I mean, you have kind of the simple fantasy kind of art delineating, you know, different terrain and aspects on the board. You've got cities and some, I think, capitals. I can't remember if it's cities and capitals. But, you know, key areas on the board and where the kingdoms lie. So, you know, all in all, having a mounted map is fine for me. And I'm not too, you know, the colors are fine. I mean, the print's small, but at least you have it there. At least you do have a chart there. I think the big disappointment in this game is the counters. You know, that's you would think with the 25th anniversary edition, they could have you know, upgraded the counters a little bit and done something with that. And I know there's some kind of a history behind this about how, you know, it was trying to be released and the rule sets and everything. I haven't really studied up on that too much, but I know there's been some background history going on with this game and why it's in the state it's in. But, you know, the counters are, I gotta admit, are quite kind of disappointing. Here's the cards here, and not that, I mean, real thin paper there. I mean, that's not, to call these cards is you know, giving it more credit than one's probably due. So there's some, your different, bribes and diplomatic marriage and white magic. These are, I think, different things that can modify events and stuff. It's been a while since I played this. That's for the advanced game, it looks like there. So, I mean, you just basically have silhouette art on this stuff. So, I mean, the thing I liked about this game was, again, the nostalgia, but some of the things it evoked, like you get these special units, or here's the Ghost Riders of Kos. I mean, it had a special counter, and you want to go get that person. You want to go out into the fantasy and recruit it. It felt a little bit like, Dungeons and Dragons, or some kind of sword and sorcery, where you're going out and trying to recruit this special unit that had different powers, and then use that on your side. And so it to me, it just the expectations and the thinking about the possibilities of the game were probably, better than the game itself. And again, that kind of is consistent with nostalgia, right? We always remember stuff better than what it really was. But, I had to have this. I do want to try this out again. I want to break this out. I don't know if I'll do the regular game or the intermediate game or the advanced game. I don't know. I'll see what, don't know which one I'll do on that. But there you go. There's the cards. And man, that's really small print there too. But here's the Pirate Fleet. That was a special mercenary unit. That's advanced game only. I might have to play the advanced game if I want to get some of these special units. So there you have it. Again, I mean, by today's standards, I mean, again, this was originally published in '79. So, I mean, let's not be too, unfair to it. But by today's standards, some of the graphic presentation and especially the counters are, probably unacceptable. Map is fine. I mean, I like the map. I think the map is still workable, and that still evokes images of me playing it back in the 80s, was when I did the bulk of my play of this game. But the rest of the counters and some of these cards here, and there's so much better way of portraying some of this stuff. And that might just be, legacy of the rules too. I mean, it's kind of clunky, and this is what they had to work with, and they continued that instead of streamlining that. In fact, I think the intermediate and advanced rules go into more detail, so they added to it instead of trying to make it, I think, easier to play. But anyway, that is what you get in the box of Divine Right. 25th anniversary edition. I'll have to check out that CD at some point and see what's on there. And then you have the box cover there. Of course, I've added to it with my printing out all the various versions of the rules. I mean, there's if you don't think this is a war game, just look at the rules right there. Look at all that complexity. Anyway, so that's Divine Right. 25th anniversary edition. Thought I'd share that with you today. Thank you for spending some time with me. As always, I really do appreciate that. Thanks for watching.